first part of this professional gambling series where I take you through the pitfalls of betting for a living, the skills that are required, and the first chapter in this multi-part series is going to be mindset and how important mindset is for us succeeding in basically being a full-time professional gambler. Now, before I get onto that, I'd just like to I'd like to point out that risk assessment in terms of betting for a living is one of the most important parts of the job. It's one of the 3 skills needed. It's mindset, knowledge and application of knowledge, and discipline, money management, etc., etc. But mindset, I must tell you now, is very, very important. Now, assessing risk is part of my daily life. Everybody assesses their own risk to a degree. You'll decide if you want to cross the road. You'll decide if you want to book travel insurance to a holiday destination. Everyone's got their own certain attitudes towards risk. I've got mine, and I live my life accordingly by making those risk assessments. So everything that I apply to my work and daily work, I apply to life as well. Both go hand in hand. And I find that is an extra edge in life, that the fact that I can make judgment calls based on risk. Generally, gamblers as a rule are fairly risk averse. Gamblers as a rule are certainly less risk averse than the general public. The general public, as a rule, tend to be or crave certainty, let's say, with their lives. Gamblers tend to just live a little bit on the edge, which is, is kind of necessary really to make the game pay. Right, mindset. I mean, mindset is something that, in a way, can be taught but can't be taught, because you've got to basically apply the rule. Winners will do different things differently to losers. It's that simple. A perfect analogy I got told a long time ago is that a loser will stand in front of an unlit fire and it will say to the fire, "Give me heat." And he says, "And then I will give you wood." Losers want things now. They basically want to pay off debts, go on holiday, spend the winnings, and when it goes wrong, blame others. They want things before. They won't put the wood on the fire, light the fire, and get heat. They will stand in front of the fire and demand heat, and that's the crux of it. Winners have goals, losers have daydreams. They dream about the lottery or a wealthy relative dying, leaving them a fortune. Everything is. It's the mentality that counts. For example, sports stars will practice, more practice. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, top sports stars have coaches. Losers will say, "Why be a coach? Why do you need a coach if you're that good?" It's the same analogy around tipsters. What if you're that good? Why do you need to tip? Basically, coaches make athletes. For example, there's certain coaches that couldn't run like Usain Bolt, but Usain Bolt's coach would probably have improved Usain Bolt over time with techniques, etc., etc. So, as I say, it's all about the mindset, and if you get that right, it leads on to good things. It can lead on to good things. I would say. I have suffered from parts of mental health. I freely admit that I do suffer from depression, and I do think some of that is caused by the game I'm in that, you have terrible runs, and that affects mindset naturally. Makes you feel bad. I can't. If anyone says that does this for a living that says they don't feel rubbish after long losing runs, then I'm afraid it's all bluster, I'm afraid. However, it is impossible to win in the long term if you do not have a positive mindset. Basically, why I'm doing this. People say, "Oh, why are you telling other people then your trade secrets, if you like, in a multi-part series?" Well, I'll tell you why. Winners will help people on their journey. Losers will point to negatives and pitfalls. Losers will say that he's doing this for money, or basically. I mean, most people look at pro gamblers as, I'll say, horse shit. Basically, you're a burden to society. I mean, you've only got to look at the current Gambling Commission inquiry as to what they think, what the general public think about gamblers. What I'm giving you on this series is years of effort and research in which to base your efforts to potentially make it pay. I think self-image is critical, really. I think like tennis players, golfers, etc., like Tiger Woods used to say, he used to envisage a shot before he made it. Like basically, he would stand there looking at the green, he'd picture that shot, what shape it wanted to go to the hole, left to right, right to left, whatever, and he'd envisage that shot. And that's like positivity. That's like basically saying, I mean, there's one of the famous rules I go by is, if you don't believe in yourself, then who will believe in you? No one else will. So you have to have, without letting ego come into it, in terms of, look how good I am kind of thing. You have to have a positive mindset with the desire to win, the work rate to win, and the clear belief that you're going to win. There is a fine line between that and overconfidence and thinking you've got the game by the bollocks, which no one will ever have, no one ever will. It literally is moving all the time. Techniques that I used to use 15 years ago, I no longer use. Into my game. I'm forever analysing, video watching, lots of things that I'll get onto in further chapters. But as I say, if you can't get the first part right, which is mindset, then the journey really should stop here for you. We can talk about what losers do, because this is why winning isn't that difficult. Losers will refuse to validate data, for example. Like losers will just simply get given a tip and then they'll back it. They'll not look at it. They'll not look at anything to do with it. They'll just back it because they've been told to back it. And then what losers will do, if it wins, they'll congratulate said tipster. If it loses or runs badly, they will blame the tipster for the bad tip. They'll not take any responsibility for themselves. They'll not look at it and say, "Well, I backed it. Why did you back it?" You'll say to them, "Oh, I don't know. I got told." And this game is pretty simple. So people say, "Well, how do you make money at this game?" Easy. The simple answer is, right, 1% will probably make a consistent good income out of this game. That's my assessment currently. I am guessing, but judging circles that I move in, I would say 1% will actually make something out of the game. Proper money. So all you got to do then is do what the 99% don't do. And as I said, 99% are losers because they think like losers, they behave like losers. As I've said, the fact that I run a little tipping business, it doesn't bring in much. I don't push it. I don't advertise it very much, and it doesn't. It won't pay my bills, but it's there, and it brings us a certain normality to my life. It keeps me in routine. It means I have to get up in the morning. It means I have to do the work. I can't just sit there and be lazy. As again, this is the losers' way. Losers are lazy. They won't do the work. They won't validate the data. They will blame others for their failures. And this is why getting into a mindset is extremely important. You have to be meticulous. You have to put the work in. And like I say, belief, self-belief is enormous. And these are the first skills and the first aspect of what is required to make the game pay. Without this, you will not win. It doesn't matter what follows. It doesn't matter if you've got an outstanding level of knowledge. Because you won't be able to utilise that knowledge to its full extent. It really is that simple. That you have to think. That you're the right. You're the right frame of mind for this. You surround yourself with winners. If you've got a social media account, don't listen to people that abuse people, that basically say bad things to people. Listen and interrogate. Build your own knowledge. Like I say, winners will do post-mortems when things go wrong. I often look at some of my bets, and I'll analyse after a race, and I'll actually criticise myself if I believe, I've not really assessed this properly. I can't get every bet I make correct. I'm bound to fall on some bets where I just haven't quite nailed it. I haven't nailed the correct price. Bad bets are inevitable, but that's part of the return on investment. The bottom line, if you like, that affects your bottom line. Like I say, the common thing that losers say, tipsters are useless. Why sell tips if you're that good? It's like going back to the fire analogy. Losers have very low tolerance. For example, I'll give you an example. You could tip a horse. It's even money. You think it should be 1-2. It's even money, so it's a great bet. But let's say that horse has a really bad day and just simply doesn't show up. I could tell you what losers will say on a big thread on, say, Twitter, on social media. You're an idiot. I can tip even money shots. You're an absolute fool. This is what. So basically, all it's doing is confirming why I make money, and consistent money. You all these idiots that just queue up like that, they're blaming you. They're not blaming themselves, or they're not blaming the fact, well, the horse just simply had a bad day. Losers have a very, very low tolerance to failure, and you can see that on social media. You basically look on people that discuss football results and things like that. If your football team loses, and plays bad, read the threads. It's you're the worst team in the world. You're hopeless. It's one game. That's the same in racing. One bet is not your bottom line. It's not your return on investment. It simply is a very, very, very small cog in the overall picture. For example, over 10,000 bets. If you were backing even money shots, it's conceivable that over those 10,000 bets that you make at even money, 28 will get beat on the bounce in that kind of period. It can happen. And now you imagine how stupid you'd look if you, to be fair, you would. If you put it up on Twitter and put these tips up on Twitter and tip 28 losers in a row at even money, even the most professional of people would start to chortle and chuckle at that. But that is what's possible, and this is what losers don't do. They have no concept of this. They think that you're just a complete moron, when in fact this is just average. So mindset's important in many ways. A mindset can handle winning runs easily. Everyone loves winning. Everyone loves a good winning day, or a good winning week, or a good winning month. Big runs. It's easy to bet when you're winning. How do you do it when you're losing? That's the key. These are all the things that make up how difficult a game it actually is, because it isn't just about watching videos, making judgment calls on horses, making a a chance assessment on that horse winning. It literally is. You've got to manage everything, and the mental side is enormous. And this is something that you must look at yourself and think: Can I be rational? You know, can I do this? Am I going to explode after 10 losing days in a row, which is common? You know, I mean, I think one of the worst periods I had, I lost every day for 2 weeks. I just couldn't get a winning day together. And that's the kind of game you're in. And, you know, bills have to be paid. You know, they don't go away when you're losing. And this is it, really. You know, what you need to do is sit yourself down and say, right, can I handle all this? Can I handle the swings? Because the swings are enormous. It isn't a case of a steady profit. You're not going to win every month. You can't just build it nice and steadily. You know, it's not achievable. So this is the first sort of intro into this multi-part series. You know, to ground you, and obviously we'll go into more about mindset in other chapters that connect with actual studying of races, things like that, what you do in certain situations. But I hope this is a good start to an interesting series. I'll be recording one of these every week, roughly 15 to 20 minutes or so, and hopefully you'll find it interesting, and you might find snippets in these chapters that will help your own betting and in life as well. So I'm going to bid you farewell now, and I hope you'll look forward to episode 2 next week. That's all from me. Bye for now.